Hey guys, how's it going? It's AdamaSanguine. Welcome back. So before I get started with this Let's Build, I want to talk about this fantastic new mod that I just installed. It's the ArcJet Cloud Storage System. Basically what it is this little terminal that you set up, very similar to the Vault-Tec DLC terminal, the settlement management system. And what it is, you put any kind of decorations or anything you want. It's separate from the standard storage. Again, that was over in Sanctuary. Here we are at Red Rocket, and you see here everything is actually pulled up. So any place that you put one of these little terminals, you'll have access to all your stuff. So again, we'll put in the backpack there and the drifter outfit from the dead body in front of the bridge, and we'll go right back to Sanctuary. The freeze here is normal, basically because it has to load everything up that you have set up. But again, so here we are back in the junk pile, and then we go over to apparel, and boom, there's the backpack and the drifter outfit. Awesome. So what I actually ended up doing with this initial build, oh, and before I forgot, since this is the second time that I'm building it, I will not be doing a full decoration on this, just showing some of the basic stuff that I did to it, as in some of the things that I did I wasn't too happy with how they turned out, so I'll be making a few edits to this build. I also, since it's an earlier save, again, the neon flats hasn't been completed yet, so I don't have the furniture, so the big cabinet I'll actually be replacing. So awesome, here we go. So I'm actually Wi-Fi glitching this lamp because it gave me basically like a little portable spotlight. For those that know about the Wi-Fi glitch or just using the spotlight, it you guys may or may not know how to do that. Fairly easy, but it just gave me this little portable light just so I can see in all the little nooks and crannies in here, just because it is a little dark once you get that in there. Even I'm in direct sunlight, and it was hard to see in there just because of all the way all the shadows and everything cast. But straighten that out once we get that in. It's just going to block it up, just blocking up that wheelbase there. Originally, when I built this, I had the pieces sticking up, but you know, we learn from our mistakes. So if you may have saw my tweet that I just put out, this is the second time that I'm building this. Yay, so awesome. But that's okay. It's what actually happened was I built half of this build, and then once I got halfway through the recording and editing, it jumped from halfway finished all the way to about 3/4 finished. So I lost about a quarter or 2/3 of this build because I forgot to hit record. So if you guys want to show everything, you already know, make sure you hit record. So put up these little floor pieces. These are from the Concrete tab in USO from Modern House. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But actually, once I got this up here, I went up in a little ladder. You may have not caught it, but in the build tour that was a little short there, there's actually a minigun turret that's actually going to be on the second little level. Of course, we had Mr. Mccready on the guard station, which is on the first level, or excuse me, I guess it would be technically Mccready would be on the second level. The first level here is where the minigun turret was. Luckily, once you get one floor piece in, this is an old trick. You guys have probably done this before. Just put in, this one's actually going to be from the Vault-Tec portion of USO. And then once put on there, I like the black floor there just because once I put in the subway lights, it actually blended in very well. But because my floors were about, you know, 1/4 inch off, a 1/2 inch off for the square, it actually threw the whole thing off there. So straighten this out. I'll just pull a couple of them out to the side. Again, things that we learn as we go, but luckily I already knew how to fix it. It was just a matter of focusing on getting it done. It didn't really take that long. It was a few seconds. I actually made the same mistake the first time I built this as well, so it's a little hard to judge there without using a keyboard and mouse. So awesome. So yeah, once we get that in there, it's fairly easy to fix. And then we'll attach the ladder back up there again, place the foundation, rinse and repeat, and we'll be good to go. But yeah, we'll put that minigun turret down there, put up some rails, and won't even be able to tell the difference. So staircase, put the floor back. I think when I come back up here, I'll actually put the floor back, of course. Awesome. There won't be any major decoration You guys probably know that I was kind of bummed out by the floating hazardous materials sign in the finished build, just because again, I pushed out the stove, and I guess that sign was clipping on the stove the first time. So we'll fix that here toward the end, make sure that didn't happen. So again, recenter all those back on there, immersion, immersion, immersion. Not that it really matters, but once you put up the rails, it will throw them all off center and they'll be crooked. So I won't be putting any neon lights or anything on this, just to give you guys the full effect. I mean, neon lights are pretty much straightforward, but I did actually layer those, and the color that I went for was similar to the ones that I did over in Overland Station, which I do love, that sunrise yellow, which is just basically two yellow on top of one orange, I believe. So 3 layers of lights there. So let's go over here to USO's railings miscellaneous. These were actually used, and this is actually my favorite part of the build. I just love the little space down there at the bottom of these rails, just because it really made it feel like some type of almost like an observation port or a little gap in there, just because they purposely wanted to be able to see out the windows. Yeah, really love that. It was really turned out awesome. But what you may not have paid attention to in the original build, again, that was a little bit short just because this thing is so small in the end, but I actually put in some corrugated metal underneath that to fill in the gap below the window, so the corrugated metal looked like a man. He looked like it was actually armoring up the inside of the bus to protect from gunshots and whatever else, but it also filled in that gap just to give it that nice bit of texture. The flavor. So we'll finish up these windows here, and then once we do that, we'll go ahead and jump into the corrugated metal, because it really did set it off and make a big difference here. But the first time it took a bit of doing just to line it up. The second time it was a lot easier. The initial build, I think, took me about a day and a half. When you include work and everything to set up, so maybe 18 hours to build. The second one only took me like 4 or 5 hours to redo, because I did crash once. Don't know why I crashed, but yeah, I was going to use this larger one here, but where is the small one here? Oh, actually no, I was looking at the color, just because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with the dark or the light. So this one, this nice rusted color here. So we'll line those up just to make it easier for when you go around. Again, when using the QWAPA tool, guys, very important to try to think ahead of time where that QWAPA tool is going to reset itself, because if it pops out and gets stuck in that bus or stuck underground, whatever it is, so try to go a couple steps ahead and make it a lot easier. So we'll snap that in. See, doesn't that look nice? I like it a lot. Looks good. So we'll jump over to the next one, and we'll put that one in. Awesome. Yeah, now I generally, when I build, depending on how clear the skies are, which is of course why we have the clear skies if you have contraptions or Wasteland Workshop, I like to build between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. just because I think that's the best time to get the good amount of sun. One thing I've noticed with the clear sky shells is you can actually get some really nice night tours with at about 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you use clear skies. Those of you that know that I'm using the Commonwealth Visual Overhaul and Weather mod, and it does tend to get dark, not quite as dark as Better Graphics and Weather, but still pretty darn dark. And if you use that clear skies, it actually gives you that almost like a 5 a.m. or a 6 a.m. tour, maybe a little darker. But yeah, it tends to stand out really nice. Now, originally, when I was doing this, I used shelves. You probably didn't notice it, but just because it was so crammed in there. But I used steel shelves, which are the ones that look like they belong in one of the shops, similar to the ones in Bunker Hill, if you guys have been there. and I really loved how it gave that almost like a ventilation or some type of, I think, but they are a nightmare to put in. So I went with the green metal again in USO in the half walls, and once I got it in there, I was having a really hard time. I don't know if it's because of my red green issue, but I was having a really hard time seeing it. But I wanted to go for a nice rusted feel, but again, it was a little bit of a pain in the butt. So we'll go with the I guess I don't know what texture color that is. It's corrugated, obviously, but I guess it's more like almost like a beige or very similar to the standard warehouse. But again, this is under the wood tab in USO. If you go to the custom skin there. But yeah, once again there, I liked how it actually ran along, almost felt like the bus skirting there, how it got those ribs in there, and just almost like it tapered off, which was, I thought, very nice, very nice. So we'll put the rails up top. There'll be a few different colors here than the initial build, only because once I got that in there, I knew how it turned out. So I thought about changing it up a little bit with this chicken wire, similar to Oberlin Station for the windows that I did. But yeah, I really love how those look. But I forgot in the initial one, and again after I redid it here, I really like the rails here over in scaffolding. There we go. Wow, it is really early in the morning here, and I can't think straight. I can speak words, I promise. So again, yeah, we got those on there, finished that up, and then we're going to put in that turret down there in a moment. Alright, so let's go ahead and put in that turret. Again, we have a minigun turret that you guys probably didn't really see, and then I had a plasma missile turret. Initially during the tour I said a plasma turret is a plasma missile turret. You guys probably picked up on the missile thing from the initial build and thought that was a little odd, or maybe you didn't catch it at all. I overthink things too much. So using this little trick that I learned from Sardeliac, putting the turrets on the tables, I was going to go with the wooden one, but I didn't like how those actually looked, because I believe in the initial build I used the rusted metal tables, which again is just a little farther over. We'll drag it over. Yeah, I don't know why they don't want to place this. Just something about the what do you call them? The hitbox or whatever it is. Alright, so it's hit those in there, turn them sideways, put it up, and I think it's, I don't know if it's the main foot that needs to catch or just the combination of the main foot and the back of it. So, oops, jump that or put that up on the top. It's similar to doing the rug glitch. There will be a fun little trick I'm going to be doing, just because again you guys know that I was a little frustrated with how the stove got caught. I've saw a nice video from Tim Timon back when he used to post videos, and the rug glitch, there's a nice little trick that I'm going to be showing you here with that stove. So awesome stuff. So get that up there, and once I put the rails up, it's not going to be really noticeable. So now we're going in back into rails, and we're going to go to the military tab of the rails, and we're going to put up the little guards here. I love using these actually for guard posts too. If you have USO guard rugs, it turns it awesome. Initially, when I put the ones on the forks that goes on the forklift, I thought it was a flat curved one, but it actually was a flat one. So we'll fix that there in a moment. So put that up top and glitch that in. Fairly easy to line up, just using your analog stick to adjust that there. Nice. Alright, first try. I like that. Alright, so we'll go get the second one on the front, and we'll skip up a little bit here. Awesome. And also something else I wanted to touch on as well, as far as editing your audio and video for those that are using SHAREfactory or just using any kind of editing software. SHAREfactory specifically is very limited to the amount of edits that you can make to your video and audio. So don't be afraid to take a break. You can always pause it and come back. You don't have to be in such a rush that you end up with a messed up video. Take your time. It's all that matters. Just like I always say, a rush build is never finished. You could say that a rushed edit is never finished. So I actually took a 10-minute break there to come back to this. But once you get a few edits done, you may have to stop and finalize your video and then come back into it, find where you left off and then go ahead and finalize that again. But yeah, it makes a big difference, guys. Don't be afraid to take a break, just like in real life. Take a break sometimes, relax, because it makes a big difference. So awesome. So I did have the chicken wire up there, and this is Fallout 4 Gamer. If you are F4 Gamer, you wanted to know how I did the tilt feature. For those that you didn't see the Violetta's trailer-based settlement, you don't know how I actually did that. So this will be for you here in a moment, but for now you may not have known that this water purifier that I had on top was actually a working purifier. So once you sink it in the ground, you can go ahead and grab it with the QWAPA tool to place anywhere and go ahead and set it up on top, and then it's just a matter of clicking a mini generator. Again, I have that power pack from the mod. So we'll go ahead and stick that on there. So again, we're using the general selector pole, and then we have the QWAPA. So they look the same, so it's easy to mix them up. So in this case, I'm using this turpentine, tilting it on its side. I remember this from the last time. So we're clicking square on the item that activates it, and then it's just a matter of hitting X on the general selector pole, and then boop, goes right where you need it. Awesome. Again, it does mess up the axes, so it's good to have it pre-set up. So you guys may have seen in most of my builds that I do anytime there's a vehicle or something, I will actually have lights, just because it gives it that whole awesome feature of making it look like they're actually headlights. So from a distance, it's hard to tell, but once you get close, you can see it out, but that's okay. I really like how it turns out. Excuse me. But this is the little trick that I was talking about with the stove. Tim Timon showed this. Sheklador, you probably already know this, and a few others. But I didn't know that once you actually get your rug in there, you can actually see. So yeah, this time I'm going to line it up correctly. So I've already lined it up on the other side. We just jumped ahead there. Remove your rug, and it goes right back to where you left it. Awesome. And it doesn't actually pop up. So there's your little trick of the day. Rug glitching. Pick it up, let it go, and it goes right back. Awesome. Yay. That's such an awesome little trick. So I want to go ahead and put the boards up here. Again, that's just going to cover up for our signs where I ended up putting the LLFABC. Lamplighters for a better Commonwealth. But again, yeah, I thought I was using the curved rail from the military on the front. So again, we're going to actually switch that out to a flat one here in a moment. Awesome. Awesome. Love that. So this is a fun one you guys may have not have known. This is actually not from a mod, except that I have STC. So we're going to pop that off the wall. This is directly across from the main board there. And with Place Anywhere, we'll just pop it on the side. So now you guys may have known that motorhomes have the power and water attached to the side. So you can either get water in or get water out of it. And of course, we can RP it that there's some storage tanks on the bottom. Now this is another little trick that I learned. You can actually Wi-Fi glitch the Vault-Tec power conduit. What's this one called? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's just a vault conduit. So same thing. And originally I went through the trouble of Wi-Fi glitching it because I was going to show it in the video that it was actually powered. But we're not going to do it for this one. But if you know how to do the Wi-Fi glitch, it's fairly easy. But one thing that I did forget is you can't grab the piece there. But if you put the QWAPA tool up on top, just grab it and pull it off to the side. Just raise it up enough because I almost got it stuck in the ground there. That would have been a pain in the butt. Awesome. And we'll go ahead and stick that on the side. But again, if you Wi-Fi glitch it, you can actually have Vault-Tec power. Madrox actually had one of these over in his coastal cottage, which I thought was pretty cool. And now I know how to do it too. Yay. I'm sure your PC creation club or creation kit did that for you. So here we are with the forklift. There's two different ones. There's a really rusted out one, and that actually stood out a little too much. I wanted to blend it, at least like we put a little fresh coat of yellow paint on there. And we'll go ahead and do that. Put that in. So as you see, I've already put up a few of the subway lights on here. but just because I glitched those in, I guess you guys probably figured out, but what I did is I stuck them on the wall just like the fancy lights, and then just popped them down there because it made it look like that really awesome ground effects that you would see on a nice, an awesome pimped out ride from that show. Awesome. Well, we are coming up on the end here, guys, but we'll go ahead and line that up. Again, I won't be putting like a whole ton of lights or anything on here, but I did want to line that up. So I wanted it to look like the forks were actually bolted onto the front there. Just that little bit of that little extra bit of immersion there for you. I am not an expert by any means. Awesome. So if you guys saw how I got the Yagwai there, that actually, because of course this caused the bone and the skull and everything there. So awesome. So we'll go ahead and glitch that in the front. It was actually a little more of a pain the first time I did this, but the second time through was quite a bit easier. Nice. Look at that. Love it. So let's go ahead and put the real hazardous material sign, because the other one was just a test, and we'll go ahead and do that. And then on the back side, I actually had, these are again in the signs tab. USO it is, I think it's on the very, very end, all the way past the Far Harbor signs. But I like those. We'll cover it up with the LL. I did contemplate keeping the US just because I liked how that looked. But again, we wanted it for the whole lamplighters motif. Awesome. Oops. Got to grab that the second time. And let's see. Now, originally, I had the cabinet from the Neon Flats, but again, I started back on an earlier save just to get this in here. It was a bit bright. It wasn't too bad, but this one made it a little easier, took up a little less space, because this was originally what I was going to have in here. But again, I went with that other one just to make it look a little different. And we're going to put some filing cabinets in here. You know, pretty similar, almost identical to the way I had it before. And the stickers that were on the mailbox initially that I had for mods, something about the texture similar to the bus, the hitbox was stuck way out. And once I got the mod stickers on there, I could not remove them. It kept wanting to grab the cabinet. So another reason I went with this one as well. I didn't want to have to go through the whole Neon Flats mission or go to that later save and start over. It'll start glitching out if I go too close to that initial save. Awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, I actually pulled it back out. It was sitting a little too low, so I raised it back up. Again, don't be afraid to pull out your pieces or scrap them and do that again. So here's the mailbox. We'll get in here the correct way this time. I actually liked it even better the second time. And we'll line that up, stick it in there. Yeah, I really like how that one turned out. It's a little better than the first one. And again, we'll put that, if you notice there, once you place that bag, it is static and it's not going anywhere. And if you guys didn't pay attention in the initial tour of the build, we actually had Mr. Jangles RPing that he was actually driving, but in reality, with all the computer pieces, I actually had the thing completely automated. Forgot to say that in the initial tour, but the thing was all robotic. Well, we'll put this up there, guys. That's going to finish it up. I thank you so much for watching. I am AdamaSanguine. I love you all. I'm out.